Okay, settings, preferences, undo, change this to more than the default 10 because you might need it. Press OK, then you need to reboot if you have made a change. So right click, add favorite path, and that's because Motion Builder is kind of built on this really old tech that doesn't give you like the full Windows file browser, so it makes it a pain getting to places. So just add one if you're coming back to it all the time. I've done it already, it's here, there's my characters, and there's that policeman folder where I put that one that we're going to characterize. So click, drag in, FBX open, no animation because we just want a character. It takes a little while, it's actually importing the assets. Then I tend to change that, I go view, 2 panes in this one, so it's Alt key down, left click is for moving, right click is for zooming, middle click is panning. So with that one displayed or selected, I'm going to add X-ray on. Open the scene, so that's the root of the skeleton. Select everything else, they're the meshes. Right click, create set from selected. Sets are on here, and they're the meshes. And the reason I do that is you can like turn them visible or not, but it's pick is the main thing, because as you're working you don't want to be accidentally selecting the mesh. As part 1. Part 2, I go select branches, selects the whole of the hierarchy, or you can do it in here with Control W, which switches to kind of the node view. Same keys, so Alt down and right click on the mouse, pans, middle moves around, and you can see what essentially we've selected is the whole of the skeleton. All we want to do is define that skeleton as being bipedal, so a valid skeleton. Yes, I do want to define one. Then you have to essentially go through every single bone, or if you've saved one already, like a template, which I have done, although it seems to change from model to model, and then the prefix sometimes fails because the naming can be different depending on your export from CC3 for whatever reason. So I tend to go match only selected bones, the ones I've selected, and go OK. And that's kind of picked up most things except, so the foot's not done, for example. And that's the ball of the foot. Where are the feet? Here. So you select the bone placement in the skeleton definition. Deselect, Shift D, and ball left, right click, assign selected bone. Ball left is being used for left toe based, clear, so that's not so good. Left. Oh, it's because I've picked up the wrong one. I've gone down the left foot. It's the right foot I need. Assign selected bone. Yeah, so no warning this time. And if you hadn't selected the other one, it does mirror. As long as you've got this button on, it will mirror. Okay, I'm going to save this. Right, so we've got our skeleton, edit, definition, rename. It gets quite messy in the hierarchy, and just generally good practice, just name things. So policeman, whatever, you know, I'll call it policeman. And so currently it's just literally just a definition. You can now also from here create a control rig. Character must, so you've just got to make sure that you're facing in the right position. Biped, you want to forward an inverse kinematic rig, and now we've created the rig, which we can use later. So the next part is importing. So I would save that. That's essentially your characterized character, and you'll want to go back to it every now and then, every time you kind of do a new mocap session. Now, to import the captures from Rococo, can't remember which one we did now, policeman 1.3 it was, it doesn't matter hugely. So you select it and drag it into the scene, and you want to merge this time, because if you open it you'll lose your character, and I just want the clip, just the animation. It's come in, and you can see if I hide our character, you can see it underneath there is a new mesh which we don't need, so we can delete that, confirm. There's a new skeleton with the motion captured animation. So we need to characterize that mesh, that mocap skeleton too. We need to tell Mobu that it's humanoid, it's got a skeleton, and because this came out of Rococo Studio with the Maya Human IK preset, the naming is just exactly what this program expects. So you can go into characters, drag it onto one of the bones, let go, characterize, tell it it's biped, and that's done. There's no real notification, but if you go into characters, now you've got a new character here. First thing, edit the definition, rename, we'll call that Mocap, and double check your definition that it's all kind of fine. Sometimes you might run into issues if that's for whatever reason not locked. So if it's like that and now you try to do the next part of the process, you run into problems. The next part of the process is you select the policeman, and you can essentially retarget using that character using the source mocap data. So that's essentially puppeteering one character based on the other one. But if I select that mocap data, for whatever reason that's not locked, if you select the policeman, you'll find you just can't use that data. It's just not there. It's something that catches me every now and then. So you select the character for the mocap, make sure that it's locked, just in case it's not automatically done it for you. Now, having the policeman run by the mocap is not actually what we want. What we actually want is to bake the data into a take onto the actual skeleton. So with that set up, just bake to skeleton, and this is done in the active take, so on take 1, and now the source is none, and our skeleton should, our character, our policeman should still move. Now if we select our mocap, we can delete the character. We don't need it, or you could do it in here. So we've got the policeman, we've got the policeman mocap, but I find it easier just to delete it, and then you can see now it's disappeared. We've only got one left, the policeman. And we can also get rid of, select branches, confirm, just delete the mocap skeleton. We don't need it anymore, we've got that data. And if you wanted, you could now say create a new take, don't copy from the preview, you just want it to be empty, and just essentially repeat the process with another clip. So merge, clip, go into the scene, we can get rid of mesh, characters, drop, characterize, yep, select. I guess you don't have to name it if you're not, but it's just how you can just call it mocap. So policeman, driven by the mocap, yep, bake to skeleton. That's fine. I'm just going to select the mocap, delete it, select branch, delete. Okay, so now take two, we've got one animation, and in take one we've got an, they look similar, but it's because I've essentially been redoing the same moves, but yeah, they are different animations, or different takes. They are literally different takes of the same animation. If you want to rename the takes in your navigator, they're here. You can right click, rename, so you know, whatever. And you can change the start and local time. So here the actual animation seems to mostly on these ones start at 7 actually. I'll make this a bit smaller. You drag these handles, you can zoom in. Yeah, from here onwards, so 7 is the start. Before that there's a kind of this weird moving from the, so you can literally just double click in here and go 7, and same for this. You could also, for example, duplicate, rename, I can drag that up. I'm just dragging it. It feels like I'm dragging it onto the top one. It turns blue and you think, oh, is it going to take over? But actually it just slots it over. And the T-pose will be just 0. Actually 0. Oh. But that is the, yeah, that is the T-pose. It's something that Unity kind of likes. I think it probably even requires for humanoid definitions to have the T-pose first. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.